Today we are talking about processing time of Australian visas. So many students ask us, or visa applicants, I should say, ask us, why my visa processing delay, and we can see so many questions in forum as well. So our migration agent we'll talk about how the immigration processes visa and why there is delay, and you can see in the visa page like a processing time and how they calculate and that sort of things.
Yep.
So over to you, Tim.
Okay, so firstly, a way you can check, there's two ways you can check your processing times online. First is via your IMI account. If you click into your application within the IMI account, it will give you a guideline for how long you can expect a visa to be processed for. The other thing you can do is global processing times on the Home Affairs website. And that search will reveal all 105 subclasses of visa we have and the estimated wait time for each of them. Now, how they process that time, how they calculate that time, is they look at the previous month, how many visas they had on hand, how many people were working on them, take 15% away for sick leave, public holidays, all that sort of thing, and then they say each visa takes 5 hours, 1 hour, 10 hours to process. So that means you can do 7, 25 or 10 in a week, depending on how long it takes. And so they go, if someone lodges today, they can expect a decision in roughly 6 months' time. That's how that calculation comes about, and it always delays by a month. So you're never going to get the real-time hardcore data because they need the previous historical data to calculate those times. Now, they are nothing more than a guide. If your visa has a processing time of 5 months and you're at month 13, nothing to worry about and you can't get upset about it. There's no process of contacting the department and complaining. I know a lot of people say it online, I contacted the department, I complained, I got my visa the next day. It simply doesn't work that way. What happens is the department will prioritize different visa subclasses and different occupations, different categories of visa within different subclasses as things they deem urgent to be looked at. So for instance, general skilled migration used to be the main pathway for the most of the migration program, and you'd be looking at a processing time of 4 to 6 months roughly. Longest I've ever seen it blow out was 16 months when I first started lodging them. It's now down to about 4 to 6 months. However, my oldest GSM application goes back to November 2019, undecided yet. Reason being is because that's not currently on the 11 or 14 key occupations that the department's processing. Because they can't grant as many GSM visas this year as they have in the past, they're now only picking the best of the best or people that can help the country recover from coronavirus. So I've lodged about 6 or 7 GSM visas, including nominations and visas in the last year. Most of them have been inactive except for one who was a radiographer. So the argument from the department is, well, that person can help with coronavirus. They can do scans for people's chest x-rays to see if that person's sick or if that person's getting better, and that person can contribute to the recovery. Everybody else, the government takes the approach, well, they've been nominated by an employer, therefore they have a job. There's no rush for us to action that right away because that person is already doing a job in the country, and when we have a visa space for them, we can allocate them a visa to, be part of that program. Now this year, the government has a big push because the GSM is shut and offshore students can't come in, all that sort of thing. Their main priority is partner visa processing. So you may look at the partner visa processing times online, could be up to 28 months, generally speaking. I'm seeing them come through a lot quicker than that for recent applications. Older ones are still languishing a bit, but that's fine. Because the department needs to make about 60 to 90,000 decisions before the 30th of June, they need to be picking out easy applications they can decide on and blow through them. So just an example, I lodged 3 partner visas last week. 2 of them, so they were all on Monday afternoon after our videos. 2 of them had requests for information come through on Saturday. So that's showing how quick they are, but the processing time says 28 months online. So yes, always use it as a guide because you can never know the full details inside.
And what about 485 visa delay? Many people are waiting for 485 visa.
Yeah.
So can you talk about that?
So 485 is tied with GSM because it's always seen as a pathway or a stepping stone into the General Skilled Migration Program. And so what the department will do historically, because I was part of this, so I know, I was with the department back in 2010 processing General Skilled Migration visas. And during that time, because General Skilled Migration contributed to the migration program, all we did was permanent GSM visas, which meant the 485s would just keep piling up in the background because they weren't deemed contributing to the program. So it meant the government had to pay people to process them, even though they get no recognition for that work once the grant was done because it was only a temporary visa. And so we got into a situation back in 2010 where some people had lodged 485 18-month visas in 2008 and waited till the end of 2010, beginning of 2011 before a decision. So there was a 3-year processing time on an 18-month visa. It was an outrageous situation, and they fixed that now. But what you're going to see now is those processing times blow up from 2 to 4 months, which was the general, what we were seeing before last year. They'll easily go out to a year and a bit more now. Reason being is they would be pulling people out of the 485 program to work on partner visa applications, or they'll be cherry picking General Skilled Migration Program visas that they can grant that will contribute to the migration program. Because even though the borders are shut, the government still need to process 190, 160,000 visas, whatever it is for the year, in order for the program to be a success. So because 485 is a temporary visa, yes, it means a lot to you, but on the whole of a program, it doesn't account for an extra head in the country. It's probably going to be blown out a bit, but that's fine.
Don't worry.
Exactly, don't worry. Use this time to get better employment. This is a bonus year for you to get better employment, and then your 18-month visa has been 2.5 years. That's your 2 years experience in the field. That gets you your 482. Yeah. 482 gets you 4 years. That's your 3 years at level, and PR, away you go. So don't be cut about long processing times. Yeah. Just think, all right, how can I use this to my advantage?
Yeah. And if you have any question regarding, what to learn or how to find job or
exactly, the Interlace team are here for that. Yeah. Now we got to caveat this because we're only agents, and we put forward the strongest application we can for you. We don't control processing times or anything like that. Some of the things we do see though are the government pre-planning for an event. For instance, most student visas onshore are taking 4, 5, 6 months. Generally we've not had any comeback since COVID kicked off yet, have we? We haven't really lodged any recently. Our oldest ones are like November, December from memory. We lodged one today. Yeah. But they're undecided. That's fine. However, interestingly enough, we lodged one beginning of February. Yeah. Was it 3rd of February or something like that? Offshore in Nepal, and they were granted within 28 days. We were both shocked, but what it indicates is that the government might be, we can't say they are, but they might be considering reopening the borders soon if they're going to start granting offshore visas like that. Reason being is that with offshore processing, even though you may lodge a visa up front and they will look at it, they are only granting visas at the moment to people that can get an exemption to come to Australia. Now, to get an exemption, you either have to be a family member or a de facto partner of a citizen or permanent resident. Generally, that's the wife of an Australian citizen, child, an Australian citizen husband. So the fourth member of the family that needs to come here. Or you have compassionate and compelling reasons, and I've not seen any of them be successful since the process started. Yeah. Or you have to have a skill set that can benefit Australia to help fight coronavirus. The fourth way you can come here is be a permanent resident or citizen, but most people are already in Australia anyway. Yeah. So if they're granting temporary visas to people in Nepal at the moment for studies, that would indicate to me that there's going to be some movement sometime soon. I can't say for sure, but it's just a really interesting decision to make, given how many people we've still got onshore and families waiting to be reunited, that they'd start granting those sort of visas. So we'll keep you updated as we hear anything, but as I said, just those processing times are a guide based on last month's data, and sometimes you're going to see them blow out because, for instance, 600 offshore, there's only about 2 categories they can grant those for, but they're still getting thousands of applications a month. Therefore, thousands of applications a month times 3 hours to process, that means you could see those processing times go from 2 months to a year within overnight, because that's just how much more work has come in.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So that's how it's calculated. So thank you so much.